Wonder if my jacket. Hey, and welcome to the Drive Your Line podcast. This is where we talk about everything karting, all aspects, chassis,
I'll be the only one
engines,
talking.
manufacturers,
Don't need
rules, races, series, and so much more. Be sure to come back and listen. Hey, good evening, everyone. Thank you for tuning into the Drive Your Line podcast. I do not have any guests this evening, but I have a plethora of notes and news and information, and we're going to go over a lot of it. I don't know if I'll be able to take up a whole hour, but we're going to take up a good portion of it. For those of you who are just tuning into the Drive Your Line podcast, we do these once a month, and I try to bring the latest and greatest news, happenings, and industry information to you live at least once a month. You can watch these as a recorded podcast. You can download them. Daniel has us on a plethora of streaming services. Obviously, you can find us here on Facebook at Drive Your Line Podcast. My personal page, Christy Kendall Cox, Drive Your Line Kart Sport, as well as we park them all on YouTube. So without any further ado, go ahead and hit our slides there, Daniel. So as you know, we've had some major updates as of Daytona, and it was announced by Kevin Williams and Van Gilder of AKRA and Kevin Williams, president of World Karting Association, that there will be a group of classes that were just announced as a collaboration between AKRA and WKA as a collaborative effort to grow the sport of road racing segment in karting. This is actually an exciting endeavor, and for those of you who know the political history, there has been some turmoil in the past. There has been some friction, and I think that we're making great strides to put all of that behind us and behind the sport so it can grow. We don't like to see these kind of happenings that cause any sort of upset within our sport, because the racers are the ones who suffer and the sport then suffers as a whole. So as announced in December, AKRA and WKA have partnered to launch the Ultimate Karting Challenge, a 5-event road race series contested across 5 tracks and hosted by AKRA, WKA, Dirt Kart Club, Woodbridge Kart Club, and Southern Kart Club. So this means that it will include sanctioning from AKRA, WKA as a unified rule structure and put on by the clubs Dirt Kart, Woodbridge, and Southern. With Southern Kart Club hosting the opener at Roebling Road with fast approaching, series officials are pleased to announce the 10 classes that will be included in the inaugural Ultimate Kart Challenge Championship. That is Sprint Piston Port, WKA Sprint, Yamaha Pipe, which is Yamaha Laydown, Sprint 4-Cycle Animal, Superkart Super Single, Shifter 125, CIK Tag 125 Medium Tag Senior, CIK Tag 100cc Light Air-Cooled, Junior CIK Tag 100cc Air-Cooled, CIK 206 Light, 206 Senior 360, and Junior CIK 206, LO 206 Junior. I don't know when we start dropping the LO because it's no longer a local option. This has been a class nationally, regionally, locally for a long time. So I think it's time that we drop that LO. Track dates are Roebling Road, February 27th, 28th, and March 1st at Savannah. June 19, 20, 21st, Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. So this is Father's Day weekend again. August 14, 15, 16 at Summit Point Motorsports Park. September 18, 19, and 20 at Gingerman Raceway in Michigan. And the conclusion of the Ultimate Karting Challenge, Daytona International Speed Week, will take place at Daytona, obviously, December 28th, 29th, 30th, and this will be during the WKA KartWeek. This is the finale for this particular season in 2026. It will still be the race one of the WKA National Series for 2027. Starting with Mid Ohio, valid AKRA membership is required at the next three events, and WKA membership will be required for the finale in Daytona. It is my understanding that Roebling Road does not make it mandatory for membership at WKA for their particular event, unless specified in a later release. At this time, that release has not been put out there, so at this time, you do not require a WKA membership for that. Small adjustments could be possible when it comes closer to race time, whether it is in structure for rules, racing formats, and race day operations. Some of the other things that I have been working on personally is a pet project called Kart Tracks of America. And I couldn't use Kart Clubs of America because that's how IKF got started. So the very first kart club was Kart Kart Clubs of America in California. I believe that was at Adams. Anyway, Kart Tracks of America is something that has been one of my pet projects, kind of sitting on a simmer in the back corner of the stove there. And I grew up and started karting in South Florida. And I had Michelle's Kartway, I had South Florida Kartway. Both tracks are gone, unfortunately. That land has now been used for progress of commerce and business. So we are now losing clubs and we're losing tracks and we're losing old school tracks that have new school upgrades at an alarming rate, while we are building brand new facilities to replace those at also an alarming rate. But the question is, for how long? So we see so many fragmented series, and sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes that's a bad thing. But we see this hyper focus on the top, the SCUSAs, the USPKS, the Stars, even CKNA, even though it has kind of that regional vibe, it still has a national element to it. Road Tax is trying very hard to bring back that regional element. But we see such a focus and an emphasis put at the top that we're kind of forgetting our base. We're forgetting the bottom. And we can't have top dogs in the fight and moving forward at the top if we're not bringing pups in to make the pack stronger. And we're just not having enough pups. And that's an issue. So, it's something that's near and dear to my heart. Some of my most fond memories as a kid growing up in the sport and as an adult now, with Akron Kart Club, it was the best memories going to the club level racing and hanging out with your friends and people that you knew from your area and people that you grew up with. So we do have a new program that we're going to be putting out with this, and it does not take the place of a sanctioning body. It is not to serve as a sanctioning body. It is to enhance the bottom tier grassroots club level racing for sanctioning bodies. And what we offer is operational support, marketing support, and ideas to grow your market. Right now, I have packaging, and I've talked to Brett Spotty at Bushnell about this. I have packaging where I can put commercials in living rooms of those that are watching live streaming. I can target exactly who you want to attract to your facility, whether it's for an event, to introduce them to rentals, to introduce them to rental leagues, to introduce them into racing. This is an option where we have the opportunity to market outside of our sport and stop marketing back to our own people. We already have those people. We don't need to keep pushing the agenda that we need more people. So this is something that I am very passionate about. If you're a club person, if you are a club administrator, you are part of a board of directors at the sprint and or road race level, let's talk sooner than later and let's talk ideas. There is nothing in this for me other than growth. This is not something that I'm interested in charging an astronomical amount of money for. This is to help grow the sport. This is to help give people a viable, affordable option to get into the sport. And not everybody is looking to become an FIA world champion. They're just not. They don't have that availability. We have a great deal of press and media and marketing push when it comes to the top tier of our sport. We need to start applying a small amount of that to the bottom tier of our sport and get the word out there that this is still the best kept secret in motorsports. And this is still the foundation for which everything else evolves. Um, I don't care if your family's been into motorcycles, drag racing, downhill derby cars. Everybody knows about go-karting, but they don't know how to get involved. And we need to change that narrative, and we need to start coming up with solutions instead of just pointing out problems. And I've said it many, many times before, you're either part of the problem or you're part of the solution, and I try to provide solutions. Um, when I posted this earlier on my social media, it was met with a couple of comments, mostly constructive, and I had a couple of phone calls about it. But the point is we don't have to build brand new tracks. We need to recycle some of the ones that we currently have. There are some sitting out there that just they've got patches on them. How can we help them come up with the funding to create a brand new surface? What does that look like for them? What's a 1 year, 3 year, 5 year plan for them? And how do we make sure that they have longevity and they have security for the future? People who invest in racetracks, they want to hear about future plans, not right here, right now, not yesterday. They want to know, great, if we help you do this, how are you going to sustain this over the long haul? And those are very important and very real conversations that need to be had face to face. I'm happy to have those. I look forward to having those. And I would like other people to reach out to me so we can have them together. As we go through this, the whole point to Kart Tracks of America is to provide a support system. Again, not a sanctioning body, not a rule book. Um, we want to be the voice of what's being overheard or overlooked, and not just be a murmur in the back of the room. We want to be able to teach these clubs to have media reach, to have press releases, local sponsorship. What does a sponsorship deck look like? I mean, there's professional decks. I just had one done by Poison Apple Design Studio in Pennsylvania. And by the way, it's phenomenal. If you'd love to see it, I'd send it to you in a heartbeat. Just let me know where. Be happy to get it to you. But we want to be able to get these clubs in touch with people like Deanne who can help them professionally. And she can work with your budget. If you guys have, X available, then she can provide you X with a wonderful presentation. We also want to be able to have forward momentum and governance and be able to bring these sanctioning bodies into the fold of these racetracks so that they have some sort of focus, so that they have a structure of rules, regulations, and technical support. Um, 2 or 3 tracks I can think of off the top of my head are operating without liability competition insurance. That's insane. And the fact that some of your constituents may or may not know that is equally as insane. It's not a matter of when, if there's going to be a problem, it's when there's going to be a problem. And I don't want to see bad things happen because you're ill prepared. We don't have all of the answers, but we know people who do. And if we don't have the answers for you, I can, by goodness, find you somebody who can get you those answers. Um, when we decided to put this out there, we need to sharpen our mission as to what Kart Tracks of America really stood for. And it stood for growth, plain and simple. Growth, to grow the sport and funnel talent throughout the entire industry. Not just these people that get involved and within a year they're competing at the top level and they're spending astronomical amounts of money. I mean, I've heard budgets anywhere from $190,000 to $600,000 at the top, and that is utterly ridiculous. But we've had those discussions, and I'm sure we'll have them again. It is what it is, but there are other options besides the very tippy top for everybody, and we want to be able to help foster those opportunities. On to other business. WKA road race at Daytona was phenomenal. We had great weather. Last day was a little bit chilly, but for the most part, it was very, very comfortable. Our team did very well. We had a couple of slight incidents, nothing that was detrimental. Nobody got hurt. We did win 100cc Air Cooled Junior. With Caden Lehands, his first time ever in a 2-cycle race. He had a couple of hours track time in Biloxi with Bo Connor Corsi, his dad, Benny. and did very well. Had wonderful reports. I believe um, Andrew Root, Silas Root were also there to accompany him, and he showed up at Daytona, ready to do battle, smile on his face, took everything in stride, didn't let the place bother him. At 12 years old, he was a rock star. And his lad KA, let me tell you, that thing was hooked up. He took off like a rocket. He learned very quickly how to ace the starts and how to manage the road race clutch. He was catching the 125s on the grid, and his flag was after their flag. So we dubbed him Rocket Man, and we look forward to seeing him. Hopefully, I believe they're joining our team in Savannah, Georgia. Um, Ryan Shaga got top 5, and he looked great out there. We're happy to see his progress. He'd never been to Daytona in a kart. He'd been there many, many times for the 24, which is something that his family takes part in every year. And now he can say that he has competed over hallowed ground with the rest of us. Derek Wargo, his first year as a 100cc air-cooled senior, and again, goes out there and just nailed it. The kid is an incredibly talented young man, and we look for great things for him in the future. He has moved on to another team. We wish them nothing but the best, and hopefully we will see them periodically on the road race side. Daytona provided the usual excitement, and the 50 kart challenge was all the buzz. I believe they had 67 entries on grid. It was a 2-day event. They qualified on Friday, which was impressive. And if you've not seen 50 go-karts line up 3 abreast on that bank, it was really a breathtaking moment, and one that I was happy that I got to see and experience, because we'll probably never see that again. And I mean, I hope we do. I hope that we can work someday to make the KA class and lay down that popular, but we got a little bit of work to do on that to make that happen. But it was absolutely wonderful. Randy Folks was the winner once again in the challenge when this event happened. I believe it was 3 years ago. We supplied the belt. Alan went out and got a prize fighter award belt to give to Randy. And it was kind of cool because I think it would have gone around the guy twice. But I mean, who else can walk out of a go kart race with a prize belt? But we congratulate Randy and his efforts. Obviously, he's the GOAT. He is the target, and everybody works hard to not only work to Randy's standard, but beat him. And it's a challenge that is something that I hope this sport has for a very long time. He keeps a lot of people engaged, and he helps a lot of people. I've worked with Randy personally on the road race side in the pits, and I've gone to the grid a couple times, and my driver's missing. And it's because he's in the pits helping somebody get ready for their next race. And I hope that that giving attitude continues with other racers down the line as well. Kudos to John Brown. John Brown knocked it out of the park again this year. He is the organizer of the 50 Kart Challenge. He had prizes, he had giveaways, he had awards, he had it. He was the man. John, all the best to you for all the hard work that you did, and thank you for so much for what you do for our sport. Actually, the whole Brown family. It was a family affair. Um, Dusty Dean, his whole family was there. B Stock, 100cc, Yamaha. The girls were there. Chad, Doc, and Chrissy, Caitlin, Maddie, everybody was there. It was so nice to walk down through the grid and see so many familiar faces. And the Griffiths are icons in our sport, and I was just so thrilled to see them out there together as a family. And that's one thing that we can say about road racing is it's several generations of family members coming to this event every year, year after year. And I'm glad that I'm fortunate enough to be able to continue coming to the Daytona KartWeek. If you have not experienced it, especially as a road racer, you need to. How many times can you take your kids to an event and they can brag about being on Daytona International Speedway? The same course driven by the 24 hours, obviously less the bus stop in the back or whatever they call it these days. It'll always be the bus stop to me. But you want to be able to have that opportunity once in your life to say that you drove over Daytona International Speedway. It's truly an experience. The event was also for sprint and for dirt. and dirt just the haulers I saw coming in, the amount of entries. I don't have that list in front of me, and shame on me for not having that, so I apologize. Forgive me. Sprint had great numbers as well. They had a beautiful turnout over there. Weather was great. We didn't have any rain. It got cold. Don't get me wrong. It got cold fast, but we had good turnouts. We had green to checker classes, few red flags, nothing major. And I'm glad to see that everybody came out. This was a great year for turnout for all three venues. I encourage you to start preparing now to be at next year's event. Every year it's the same time, and somebody always asks, when's Daytona? When's Daytona? It is the same dates every year. It's the 28th, it's practice. 29th is first day of racing. The 30th is the second day of racing in December. The days make no difference. It could be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It can be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It makes no difference. It is not always on a weekend. So that confuses a lot of people. Um, we have a lot of series that are opening up. Florida Winter Tour is kicking indoors and doing very well. Their numbers are decent. They're solid. We have Rotax this week in Texas. We have CK&A. They will be coming to Biloxi the end of February. I think it's the third week. And they will be opening up their registration very soon. I'm told it will be at 1 o'clock on Saturday. You heard it here. CK&A South registration for Biloxi will be Saturday at 1 p.m. That came from Brett Spotty directly. So make sure that you guys have your pencils ready, start getting out your checkbook, making your list, and get registered for CK&A. When you guys don't pre-register for an event, it causes so many issues on the backside for the promoter, for scoring and timing, and it makes it very difficult for them to do their job. Yeah, I know. I'm going to wait for the weather. I'm going to wait to see who else is registered. I'm going to wait to see who's there. It doesn't make a damn bit of difference. You already know you're going. Stop dragging your feet. Stop being a weenie. Go pre-register. I don't care if it's for CK&A. I don't care if it's for Rotax, Stars, SCUSA, USPKS. I don't care. Go pre-register. Help these people put the events on for you and stop dragging your feet. It really is that important. Almost all of these series, if weather comes in and there's a cancellation, they're going to do one of two things. They're going to forward your payment onto the next event, and you might get points for that last event if you showed up ready to compete, or they may give you a refund. Always know what that policy is if you are on the fence. Lastly, show up. Show up for these events. Take your friends. Take people that you think might be interested in motorsports, because those are the next people that might possibly get involved. We have an event coming up in Biloxi, speaking of the area. It's a beautiful track. Finish Line Performance Karting is normally a rental track for tourists. It is a tourist area. It is Biloxi on the beach. They do not hold races there. They do not hold test and tunes. So please don't call there seeing if you can get on the track. If you would like information about the facility and when it's available, let me know. You can let me know on here, on social media. You can call our shop, 601-287-9197. Leave me a message, text message. If nobody answers, I'm happy to get back to you. Or you can email at Christy@driveyourline.com. I'm happy to get back to you with any information. But we are holding a joint event. This is being put on by Little River Promotions, which is Marcus Purdue in Alabama, and Coastal Karting, which is a division of Drive Your Line Kart Sport. We are the operation side. Marcus is the promoter. And we are putting on the VKA Fall Fling. And this is Vintage Karting Association. We have, I think it's 11 or 13 classes so far. And these are all vintage classes. And this will be showcased along with 5 CIK modern chassis classes, including the opportunity to run a vintage reed and or rotary up to 135 cc's on a modern chassis. I mean, you can run a vintage chassis if you think you're going to be competitive. So the Giacomelli boys, Jim and John, you guys are a definite go-to for them old Formula A days. Take that stuff down off the shelf. If you don't have it, call Mike Geeson. I know he's got a couple. Give him a call, and I know you can probably come up with some chassis. Anybody else from them Formula A days? Alan Rudolph, where are you? let's dust off them things and let's take them back out to the track. And if you've never heard a rotary screaming, you are missing it. It's an experience. If you've never driven one, it'll put hair on your chest. Um, Formula A was one of my favorite classes, and for multiple reasons. But it's the baddest of the bad, and you got to be a wheelman. So, Drive Your Learn Kart Sport will have an entry in that class. We will have a wheelman in the seat, and we look forward to others. I already know of 4 or 5 that are coming. Lastly, and we're going to make this day short, thank you all. Thank you all for being part of this podcast. Thank you all for your input. We are going to be making some changes. Thank to my friend Daniel over there. Thank you, Daniel. We are going to make some steps to start moving the Drive Your Line podcast to our shop. That's right. If you've never been to our shop, you're about to be. I'm going to take you all there. We're all going to have a good time. From the big commercial refrigerator, thank you, Derek Wargo, to the lounge area with the leather couches, to the multiple cart stands with various projects on them, to the truck and trailer, the trailer being backed in, everything's in one spot. And we're going to have a great time. We're going to work on bringing in better internet because we're going to need that, right, Dee? Okay. He sent me a shopping list for Amazon. If anybody would like to help in this endeavor, it's going to be quite the undertaking and definitely out of my comfort zone. But we're going to change up some things. We're going to do some tech talk. We're going to do a couple segments and features with vendors. And one of those is a returning sponsor, Tillotson carburetors, and also their T4 Tillotson package. Completely spec, totally badass. And if it's something that you're looking to measure your ability as a driver, this is the package to do it in. Everything 196, 212, 225 cc's, offers something for everybody, from kids up to seniors to adults to heavies. Guys, they have something for everyone. And that 225, it rips. I'm not a 4-cycle person. I'm a 2-cycle girl, but it is impressive. Rhett Thomas drove it once out here at our track in Jackson, and his first words, he goes, "Man, that was actually fun." So as people that are 2-cycle purists, we like the fun factor. We want to go fast. Other than that, I'm going to check a couple messages, see what we got coming up here. I know that several of you have talked to us and have made suggestions for the podcast. Please, keep coming with them. Keep coming. We like to hear that. If John Hickey, thank you so much. Yes. One last thing. This is uber important, especially to me. For those of you who follow, if I don't destroy Daniel's microphone, the Hall of Fame inductees. And I have to thank Tim Meyer and the Go-Kart Hall of Fame. Everybody says there seems to be a lot of inductees every year, and it just seems to be willy-nilly. No, it's not. There is a committee that takes into consideration every person that they nominate. And they take into consideration not only their record as a driver, but their character, who they were, whether they're out of the sport, who they were, who they are today. They take into consideration their contribution to the sport, which is most important. And I have to congratulate my girl, Denise Johnston Smith, who was my mentor as a kid, and I could not have asked for a better person. Denise was the epitome of professionalism. She was always on the grid with a smile on her face, at the scale line, shaking hands, highly respected by her peers. Just the salt of the earth. And I cannot say enough great things about Denise. Growing up, knowing her, the things that she taught me, she instilled in me, I use every day. And I thank her so much for those things. Having her as a mentor and somebody to look up to in the sport was absolutely astounding. And we did not have all of the DEI crap back then. If you were a chick in the sport, you earned your worth. And there was no preferential treatment. There was no, we got a chick, rah, rah, rah. Nobody gave a crap. They really didn't. And they shouldn't give a crap now. If you can do the job, you can drive well, you can get the task done, then you get the respect. And Denise was one of the first things she said to me when I first started working with her was, never lose your dignity. She was right. And I think that's something that every racer needs, and every racer needs to remind themselves of that. All hell could be breaking loose. You could be treading water, but on the surface, the water has to be smooth. Never let them see you sweat because they'll eat you for lunch. Guys, I appreciate it. And Rod Charity, we are going to be talking at Roebling Road. Um, John, it's right. It was your clutch that exploded. I'm so sorry that I picked that out on the grid. Um, Rick Allen, thank you very much. Daniel makes me look damn good, don't he? I tell you, he makes me look good. Chris Say told me today that I need to take my podcast to the shop. And it was funny he said that because I just had that conversation with Daniel. And guys, I appreciate your support. I appreciate your input. I appreciate you viewing in. And please, Daniel, our sponsors, please, guys, I cannot tell you enough. Please support our sponsors. FHS Oil is a brand that is back in our sport, back into motorsports. They are the epitome of synthetic oils and lubricants. And Daniel is absolutely wonderful to deal with. He is the new owner. I don't know if he's still new. I think he's still new within the last couple of years. He's easy to talk to. He knows his stuff. He's willing to do what it takes to make you a customer. If you have not considered the FHS Oil family for your competition needs, please do so. Reach out to Daniel. Let him know that we encouraged you to do so. Trailer Alarms has been on with us for a while. If you are looking to secure your assets in your trailer, don't rely on your insurance, because chances are the stuff you got in that trailer, they're not going to insure. But you know what? Trailer Alarms can make it really hard as hell for somebody to steal it. Boxo Tools has helped us with our tool sets for the last year, and they have helped us with our kart shop class, and we look forward to them having much success in the future. Tillotson Racing has been absolutely wonderful. We have a T4 in the shop that our kart shop kids are working on currently. They just stripped it down to the bare frame. They're going to check every square inch of it. They're going to slowly, methodically start putting it back together, and then those boys are actually going to get some laps in the T4. AKRA, cannot thank Van enough. This is the first sanctioning body that said we are definitely supporting the Drive Your Line podcast. There's no preferential treatment here. Van knows that I'm an equal opportunity annoyer, but it was really, really welcoming to know that a sanctioning body that's on a huge growth spurt is interested in supporting those that support them. Doorstep Peppers is not just peppers, babe. It is a whole spice conglomerate. Family owned, veteran owned, disabled veteran owned, and he's absolutely a wonderful person to talk to. His story is amazing. And if you get a chance, send Dennis a message, look at their products, buy their products. You're not going to be disappointed. I put their stuff on everything. It's kind of like, what is it? Frank's hot sauce. I put that shit on everything. That is the truth. Doorstep Peppers has a spice group for you, a seasoning, a blend. Just tell him what your needs are, and he'll send you what's going to work for you. Motorsports Talent Development is another one of our companies, and this helps kids as well as adults in the motorsports realm, whether it's as a driver or maybe you're looking for a career outside of the driver's seat. And of course, Drive Your Line Kart Sport. That's me, baby. And we absolutely support everything and anything that we can. We also are a comp cart dealer. We work within the realm of Tillotson as well. There is several dealers for the T4. There's several dealers for the comp cart. We all work hand in hand. And if we can help you, please don't hesitate to give us a call. Other than that, I'll bid you adieu. Have a great night. Make sure you support your local racers, and you guys enjoy, and we'll see you at the racetrack.